Death is hard to think about and been through some shit that you probably couldn't dream about. Death around the intersection, Glocks for protection. Uncivil in them trenches, so I gotta keep a weapon. 10 toes towards whatever, you ain't never gotta question. If I ever want for shit, I make a way to go and get it. Stay away from broke shit, that shit'll trigger your depression. Make a way to make a way, don't get stuck in this oppression. I never wanna revert you, but it feels worse when they just leave you and desert you. I'm talking about the family and friends that you refer to. Lord, I bleed more, get down on my knees. I never wanna revert you, but it feels worse when they just leave you and desert you. I'm talking about the family and friends that you refer to, Lord.
What's up, y'all? It's Coach Justin. We're here again at the Sit Down Podcast. We have a very, very special guest, Mac Dage. How's it going?
Going good. What's going on?
Chilling, man. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for coming down. We've been trying to get this done for a while. I know how it is with the schedules and everything, so I appreciate your presence, first of all.
Thank you. I appreciate you, too.
No problem, man. Anytime. It's an open door policy for you. Second of all, I just want to do a mental health check-in, man, see how everything is going on with you mentally. I know the world is all fucked up right now. So much going on, man. So how is Mac Dage?
Man, as far as mentally, I just try to, surround myself around positive energy, surround myself around, I try to surround myself around people who have things going on for themselves, so that kind of energy could rub off on me, Right. Try to distance myself from negative things, I don't too much indulge into that, and if I see it, I automatically nip it in the bud. I don't have time for that. I have too much going for myself.
Yeah, that's smart, man. That's very smart. Especially where we grew up and where we from, it's like it's easy to get caught up in that stuff. So I understand that completely. But yeah, let's jump right into it. So take us back to young Dage and how it was for you growing up, where you was born and raised, and we'll just go from there.
I was born in East Oakland, California. I was born and raised in 65th Village. I lived in 1311 Fenham Street in the back of the village before they remodeled it. And when they did remodel it, I was like 10, 11 years old. Me, my mom, and my sisters, we moved to the front of the village. So I was really born and raised in there. We moved when I was like in going to ninth grade. We moved out of the village when I was going into like the ninth grade.
Okay.
Like so when I was entering high school, we moved somewhere else. But that was the majority of where I grew up at.
So you said your mom and your sister?
Yes, it was my mom and my sister.
So that's your only sibling?
Yes.
Okay. And then so how was it for you growing up? Was it like, were you guys struggling? Were you guys like just making it? I know it's like relative when you say struggling or money or not. So how was it for you? If you like, as much as you can remember, obviously.
Growing up, I wouldn't say that I struggled. My mom, she always kept a job. She always took care of us. She always made sure that we were okay, and so I never went without. My mom, we were well taken care of. So she didn't. If she did struggle, she didn't let us see it.
That's what's up.
She always encouraged us to always be the best and always be great.
That's
so
what's up.
Yeah.
So what middle school did you go to, if you don't mind me asking?
So I went to all my middle schools in West Oakland. That's crazy because my mom was a teacher, so she taught.
Wow.
She taught school in West Oakland. She teach preschool and like Head Start children. So I went to my elementary school was Martin Luther King. I went to Martin Luther King in West Oakland. I went to Cole Middle School in West Oakland before they changed it into a police station. And I went to Claremont. Now it's a police station.
It is. That's hella funny.
No offense, but it is. Then I went to Claremont Middle School, and then I went to Envision Academy in downtown Oakland for high school. And that's where I graduated from.
How was it for you? Because I graduated from Mac. And the only reason I laughed when you said the Cole thing is because I used to coach at Mac and I had to go get my fingerprints up there. So I know it's a police station.
Yeah, it's a police station. Yeah.
So how was it for you being from East Oakland, going to school in West Oakland? Did you ever deal with issues on that?
Not really. No, as far as like politically, no. Okay. I was a kid. I know a lot of people from West Oakland. That's crazy because I went to school out there, so I know people from West Oakland and East Oakland, so people know me from both areas, and that's why I know so many people is because I went to school in West Oakland. I don't even know if those people knew that I lived in East Oakland at the time, but yeah, that's how I know a lot of people from West Oakland. But I didn't really run into no issues as far as me being from East Oakland, no.
How were you as a student growing up? Were you a bad kid or were you?
It's in school, no. I was very smart. I made good grades. I had like A's and B's. It was like very rare that I got like a D or F. I always liked to learn. I was always interested in learning. Learning was never like an issue for me because I was interested in it. I'm always interested in learning new things. I never want to not learn. You know, when I feel like I'm not learning, I feel stagnant.
Same
you know?
here. I'm the same exact way, so I know exactly what you mean. What about outside of school? How were you? Were you running the streets a little bit?
Yes, outside of school, yes, the streets, you know, became like a little playground for me and the people that I used to be with. I used to be with boys and girls. Like, we formed a clique. We gave it a name. We used to be going to functions.
I feel like we all went through that.
Yes, that was fun. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, it's not something I encourage, but everybody go through their little stage where they do that, you know?
I agree with you. I feel like some people, we go through it, and then some people get addicted to it, and then some get their taste and get out.
Yeah, and get out. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's the goal, is to get out.
Yeah, for sure. So what about with, like, in the household? Were you getting in trouble with moms at all? Like, growing up?
I did get in trouble because I used to be real sneaky. I used to be sneaky, and yes, that's where all my punishment and trouble came from, because I used to lie a lot to my mom. Say I was somewhere and I was somewhere else. I used to, like,
I think we all did
that. Come back from curfew and stuff like that. I used to stay out, and I wasn't supposed to on school nights, stuff like that. But I always was in school, though. I was never just like not going to school. I always did that.
So is your sister older or younger than you?
She's older than me.
Older than you. By how much?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
Were you guys close growing up?
Not really.
How about relationship with mom? You guys were close growing up?
Yeah, me and my mom was really close. Rest in peace. My mom passed away.
That's right. That's not too far. That was kind of recent.
Yeah, she passed away July 23rd.
Wow, I'm sorry
it's
to
really
hear that.
sad. It's something that I'm still like grieving. It's something that I'm still dealing with to this day. Like, a person, when you lose your parent, especially when you lose your mom, it's like a different feeling. It really is. It's like a whole different pain that I never experienced before. But each day I'm getting better with it. You know, I have some good days and I have some bad days. Some days is really bad. It's worse than others, and I just be really sad, you know. But I can't be sad every day. So that's what pushes me to keep going, because it can put you into a depression if you let it.
For sure.
So you can either let it do that, you know, and take you out, or you could just be strong and fight through it. And that's what I've been doing. That's
what's up. So let's talk about when you start getting older, like more so in the high school areas. This is obviously around the time we running around functions. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
29.
29. So I'm 31. So I think that means you're 2 years younger than me.
Yeah.
I remember you from back then. We weren't really, like, I don't think we had like a relationship, but we would always be. We were around the same people.
Yeah.
So I remember you from back in the day. So talk about that a little bit. Just growing up in Oakland, how you think that shaped you as a person. You know what I mean? I know how it affected me. Obviously, we grew up with this chip on our shoulder. You know what I mean? We have a major trust issues.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of things. Grew up with our friends dying. Those functions you mentioned. It's so crazy. The function would get shot up on Friday, then we'd go back on Saturday. That would get shot up. Then we go back on Sunday. So just talk about that a little bit and your experiences with that.
You know, growing up as a teenager in Oakland, it was bittersweet. And I say bittersweet because the bitter part of it is, you know, you get involved in these gangs, you know, cliques, and it becomes fun. Like, it becomes something that you want to do as a teenager. You want to go outside, you want to hang with your partners, you want to go to the functions and have guns and rob people and hit licks. Like, it becomes fun, but you also lose people to the system. People go to jail. I lost a lot of people to the system running around in the streets as a teenager. Even myself, I end up going to prison. And I lost a lot of people just by homicides and gun violence. So that's the bitter part of it. And the sweet part of it is, you know, you can make a name for yourself. That's why people do it. You can make a name for yourself out there. And, you know, you could get a reputation for being in the street. So it comes with it, but it comes with a lot, too. Yeah. It comes with a lot of stuff, you know, and you just got to be willing to know what you're walking into. You got to be willing to take a risk, because it is a risk that comes with it.
Right. That's a very good point. I actually never even looked at it like that, the making a name for yourself part, because I feel like so many of our people in our generation were kind of focused on that. You know what I mean? Especially a lot of people that we lost to either prison or death. So touch on that a little bit more when it comes to processing being that young and losing friends to whether it's juvenile hall at the time before we turned 18 or to graves. You know what I mean? Just touch on that a little bit. Just as far as like how it affects you, you know what I mean? Because I feel like it became our norm, like you said. It was normal to hit licks. It was normal to rob people. It was normal to go on knockout missions and all those type of things that we should do as kids. And then it was almost like a video game in a way until it got real. Yeah. You know what I mean?
when you doing that kind of stuff, you don't even realize what you're doing. At the time, it's just fun to you. Like, it's whatever. You don't care about nothing. You don't realize what you were doing until you actually get older and be like, that was, that ain't cool. Like, because you wouldn't want somebody doing that to your daughter, your mom, the older people in your family. And that's what I think about when I see people doing that. Like, I don't want none of these youngsters around here attacking my family, like, doing the stuff that we used to do. So you don't realize what you're doing when you're doing it. People doing it now, they don't realize that how they're affecting other people and how they're impacting other people's lives when they're doing that kind of stuff.
I think it's a little bit worse now because of social media. So it's like these kids are learning way more than we knew at a higher clip. You know what I mean? Like we learned from each other. Yeah. So maybe some people had older siblings that they kind of picked and chose from our movies or shit like that. But nowadays you can open up at that phone and it's a new method out there to get some bread or you know what I mean? And these kids jumping full fledged.
It's like instant gratification.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. At what point do you start doing the music?
So I've been rapping since I was like 13 years old. I became like infatuated with like, rapping. I don't know. I think I used to see it on TV as a young person. I used to see like the young rappers and I used to be like, man, I like this. Like, I like what they doing. I became fascinated with like the image of it, So that's when I bought my own microphone and I bought my own setup. And
how old were you at this point?
I was like 14.
Oh, so that young?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I started like, I taught myself how to do the Pro Tools. I taught myself how to upload the beats and rap over the beats put the effects on it. I used to tweak with it. I used to be into computers a lot when I was younger. So that's when I started rapping and I uploaded my first song to MySpace and it blew up. It blew up on MySpace, yeah. I got a little buzz off that when I was young. And then I started doing more and then I started getting like a little bitty buzz off that. I never took it serious. I was just rapping. It wasn't mixed or mastered or nothing, but people to this day still ask about that music from MySpace. I'd be like, damn, that's crazy. People still remember me from that.
That's dope. I'm trying to think like who was even rapping around our age at that time. Do you remember? Because I'm just trying to picture like who would your influences be outside of just TV? You know what I mean? You didn't have any older siblings or anything or anybody around you who kind of pulled you into music. So who were some of your influences back then, just locally? Were there any?
Yeah.
Was DB and them popping at this time? Rico and all
General, of them? D-Lo even, Rico the Kid.
So all of that whole group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the songs they used to play at the function.
Yeah, exactly. That's what made me ask that.
I can't really think of no more.
Me neither. I'm sure if we really sat here and thought about it, we could think of some people. But so what about how old are you when the situation happens? Because I know a little bit about the story. And can we talk about that?
About me going to prison?
Yeah.
I'll talk about it. I'm just not gonna really talk about what I did to get there. But I'll talk about it.
Okay. So how old are you when you got there?
I was 19 years old when I got arrested and sent to jail. I got sent to Santa Rita jail when I was 19 years old.
19. Okay. So before that, would you call yourself being in the streets at that time?
Yeah, I had a job and I was still working, but yeah, I used to still do street things. Yes, I did. Being in the streets, I wouldn't say it really played a part on why I went to jail, though. I would say that lack of like emotional awareness and like lack of being in control or lack of being not being in control of my emotions is what led me to prison. Anger management, stuff like that.
Like I said, I kind of know a little bit of the story just because I remember when it happened, and it was like because you were super popular back then.
Yeah.
Like I said, I didn't know you personally, but I knew of you. Do you think that because of coming from where you come from, do you think you kind of reacted that way because of that?
Yes, I did. And now that I think back, I could have made a different decision had I been taught like different and seen different things growing up. Because the way I reacted off like the things I've seen growing up. I didn't know no other way. I had to go and learn and seek why I reacted that way, and that's why they send people to certain places where they sent me to prison so that you can learn different things. That's what I took from it because, I mean, I took someone's life and you can't really replace that. So I feel like I deserved I feel like at the time I deserved to be sent to prison. I didn't rebuttal against it.
In that moment?
Not in that moment,
okay,
but once I
shortly after.
Once I sat down for like 2 years and thought about it, I'm like, I took somebody's life and I don't have a real not reason.
I know what you mean.
I don't have a real. I don't know why I reacted that way to the point that it pushed me to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. 100%. Let me ask you this: how much of that do you think was just a survival thing? Because I feel like at certain point,
80% of it was survival. You know, the other 20% was just lack of education, not being, educated on, certain triggers, not being educated on how to resolve problems, problem solving solutions and stuff,
For somebody like myself, right, who I've never been to prison, I've never been in jail, I don't have a record, but it's like, obviously we all ran around the same time, and I always think back because obviously, a lot of my close friends are a lot of them are coming home now that did long bids, or they're some aren't coming home at all, some are dead, and I always think back, like I always deal with survivor's remorse a little bit, like damn, like why was I lucky enough to make some of these same decisions, but I didn't get these same results, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I say that to say, do you, and then listening to you speak just in this short amount of time, we're about 15 minutes in, you didn't sound like a bad person, right?
No,
and
yeah,
you
exactly.
even mentioned that you were into computers and stuff. Do you feel like if you were taken out of Oakland and placed in a different environment, do you think your whole life would have been different?
Absolutely, yeah. I always think bigger. I've always dreamed of bigger of myself because I know, I'm smart, I'm intelligent. You got to be willing to, at some point, want more for yourself and try to go seek it. It's just, some stuff is just not going to come to you. You have to go out there and try to really get it for yourself.
Right.
And so that's what I'm on right now. But had I been raised in a different environment, more less
chaotic,
less chaotic, a little bit more structure around the neighborhood, yes, it probably would have had a different outcome on how I reacted to things.
Mm-hmm. And then, so before you go to prison, are you starting to take music serious at all at that point?
Right before I went to jail, my brother reached out to me on social media, Twitter or something. He was like, what's been going on? It's like a month. I remember it was like a month before I got arrested. He reached out. He was like, what happened to you doing music? Like, you need to take that more serious. And I remember that. And a month later, I went to jail. But I was just I don't know if I was about to take it serious, but I remember him saying that. And I was like, damn, maybe if I would have took it serious, I probably wouldn't even be in this situation.
How did and again, talking about as much as you want to, how did mom react to the situation?
My mom,
again, if I'm talking about this situation too much, let me know. We can move on.
No. When I got arrested, my mom was really, really sad, but my mom was really strong, so she didn't show too much of her being really sad. But I know that it really hurted my mom. I'm my mom's baby. So the way she showed it is she was there for me the whole way. She rarely missed a visit, rarely missed a shop. My mom was there for me 100%. I could never replace how much she was there for me. It's crazy.
That's dope. Were you on the run for a little while, or did you immediately get arrested?
I immediately actually turned myself in.
I think I remember that part of that story too.
I turned myself in after the altercation, after the situation happened, maybe a couple hours later.
Really?
Yeah.
That quick?
Yeah.
What went into that decision?
First of all, they knew where my mom lived. It's like somebody already
I feel you.
Pointing me out of a lineup or something. So I was like, honestly, I couldn't walk around with some, because it was not like it was purposely and maliciously done.
Right.
So I couldn't walk around and just be normal walking around with something like that on my conscience. So I just turned myself in, and I had it was other people around that could have been involved and implicated in it too, and I didn't want somebody else taking the fall for something I've done. That was another reason why I was like, let me just go ahead and, because they didn't have nothing to do with, and I just got it over with.
So prior to that, did you have a record at all? Had you been in jail before?
No, I hadn't been in jail.
Really?
The police stopped us a couple times as teenagers, but never took us to juvenile hall or nothing. No.
Wow. And
I never had a record, no.
Because you were over 18 at that point, so you went straight into adult.
I was trying to get put in like a youth adult facility, but no.
They wasn't having it.
No.
And then can you say how long they sentenced you to?
They sentenced me to 12 years. Initially, that's what I got sentenced to, but they have programs inside the prison to where it allows you to do so many classes and you get time knocked off your sentence. So that's where I went and got my college degree. And once I got it, they gave me like a year off. So that knocked off that brought me down to you only do 85% of whatever time they give you anyway. So I was already doing 10 years. Yeah. So when I got my degree, I got a year off. So now that bumped me along to 9 years. And then I was doing some other classes and stuff. And then I took a year off. So I ended up doing 8 years and 7 months.
8 years, 7 months.
Yeah.
Can you talk about your prison experience a little bit? How was that for you?
My prison experience was, honestly, I had a, I
already
I actually had a good prison experience. And the reason why I say I had a good prison experience is because it taught me so much. Going to prison taught me things that the streets can never teach you. So, I just look at stuff different now. My perspective is different. I damn near grew up in there. I was in there for 8 years, and I was in there throughout my whole 20s. So it's I grew up in there, but I used to hang around a lot of older people because they're wise, and I used to hang around people who had already did a lot of time in there. I used to surround myself around those kind of people, and those are the people who got me in the direction of getting into enrolling myself into those classes and getting my time knocked off. You know, so it's just being in prison is just like the streets. You can get caught up in there easily if you're into drugs, if you're into selling it, if you're into cell phones and soliciting, you could easily get caught up. The police, they'll run in your room. They'll trash your whole room. They'll find the shit, lock you in solitary confinement. You back there. You can't use the phone. You can't get commissary. So, and then they have other programs which are more positive to where you can live in where I was at, you can live in a dorm, and it's different than the other people. They get to shop at commissary first on a different day than other people, which that's a lot because you got to stand in a long-ass line and wait for hella long just to get the commissary. And then we had a little mini store inside of our dorm. And the dorms is set up it kind of reminds me of a college campus a little bit. How the prison I was at was in L.A. It was in Corona.
Okay. And I used to live in L.A. So
so it's 2-man cells. We're not locked down all day. The doors are open. We can go in each other's rooms. It was cool. It's not it wasn't. I wasn't at a level 4 prison. I was at a level maybe 2 prison.
Okay.
They still had their little shit going on there, but I was at 4 different prisons. So Chowchilla is the maximum security prison. That's a level 4 prison. It's by Bakersfield a little bit, like Brent said a little bit.
You went there?
Yeah.
How long was you in there?
I want to say I did 4 years there.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like that prison at all. You're in a room with 8 other, so it's 8 females to 1 room. You're in a room with 7 other females. It's 2 sinks, and it's 2 showers, and it's 4 bunk beds. So it's a little ass apartment. You got to share with 7 other personalities. You might have somebody who's been there, who's been living in that room for 20 years. Yeah. So if you have somebody who's been living in this room for 20 years,
they feel like they
and you come in and you just got there and you just passing through. Sometimes you'll have these people treating these motherfuckers like they ain't shit. I've seen some shit in there when it comes to that. That's why I don't like that prison. It's a lot of negativity in that prison because you got people who's never going to see the light of day who's living there. So you got people who's just spending the rest of their life in there. So just imagine, they miserable. They miserable in there. And so, yeah. I seen a lot at that prison too. That prison is grimy.
Really?
Yes, it's a lot of gang banging that go on there because a lot of the Bloods and Crips, it's a lot of Bloods and Crips inside of prison from L.A. Inside of all of the prisons. So the ones who are who have gang on their on their prison file, they get sent to Chowchilla, the 11-4 prison. So they fight a lot, and it's just a lot of gang related stuff that goes on in there, and it's just too much.
How much of it did it remind you of just being in the streets in Oakland?
All of it. But you have a choice. You could get out of that prison. You just have to work your way out. That's where
4 years?
That's where reception is at. Yeah, that's where reception is at. So everybody who gets sent from a county jail has to go to Chowchilla to do their 90-day reception there on A-Yard.
Explain what reception is.
Reception is like intake. That's where
they test to see if you can last, right? Or am I wrong?
No. Reception, okay, so once you get sentenced in a county jail, they give you a sentence, whether it's 2 years, 5 years, a year, 16 months, you get sent to reception. It's only one female reception center, and it's at Chowchilla, and it's on A Yard. Chowchilla has 4 yards. It has A Yard, B Yard, C Yard, and D Yard. A Yard is reception. The minimum, like the average amount that you stay on reception is like 90 days, and you can't use the phone. Only one time in that 90 days you can use the phone, and if your family don't answer, they just don't answer. Wow. So you can't use the phone this whole 90 days. They give you like one time, and they randomly pull you out the room to use the phone to call your family. They give you like an hour or something, or maybe less than that. But you can correspond with your family through mail, but sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's fast. You don't know if they get it. It's just... But so I was corresponding with my family through the mail when I was on A Yard, reception. So that's where they figure out what prison you're going to get sent to. So the more years you have, the more points you have. So since I had 12 years, I had a lot of points. So they made the decision to keep me at that prison. Maybe to see, sometimes they see how you're going to act just based on what kind of crime you have. So mine was voluntary manslaughter. So that made me like at high points. So they kept me there to see, like, I don't know how.
If you was going to get caught up.
If I was going to get caught up on it. Yes, that's what they do. Damn. And I knew I didn't want to stay there.
I was just about to ask you that. So knowing that, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
So knowing that, you making a conscious decision every day pretty much, like, I got to stay out of the bullshit.
I made a conscious decision. I was really smart when I went in there. I went in there really young, but I had a plan that I was going to make it out by any means necessary. So I instantly started enrolling I was smart. I was like, a lot of these people, they don't know what the fuck, they going to think this is a playground. I was smart, so I instantly started enrolling myself into like trade schools, because they had you could do electrician. They had like plumbing schools. They had like auto body. They had like construction. They had like barbering. So I enrolled myself into the barbering school. I enrolled myself into
when you first came home, you was cutting hair, right?
Yep, I was cutting hair. I enrolled myself into the barbering school. I didn't get in there, but I started cutting hair on my own, like on the yard. I enrolled myself into like the electrician school, the plumbing school. I think I got accepted into something. I can't remember, but I was in classes every day. So. It's either you in class, so they force you to go. So you can't just sit in your room all day. It's either you going to school, you're going to work, or you going to some type of trade or something. Everybody, you got to get up. Everybody get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. They serve breakfast in the chow hall. It's called a chow hall, but the cafeteria, they serve it at a certain time, which is like 8 o'clock. They serve the breakfast. They give you like only like 15 minutes to sit there and eat. They give you like an hour to walk back to your dorm, get ready. And you have to go line up to get through the gate, to go to school, work, college, wherever you're going. If you don't, they will sit there and write you up. And when you get written up, you get extra time added on to your sentence. And that's why people be in there for so long and they max out their whole sentence, because they get written up because they're lazy and they don't want to do nothing. You have to do something. And if they just write you up so much, you're going to get sent to the hole. And nobody wants to be in there because you can't do nothing. A lot of people want to be in there. I don't know, but not me. But, I used to go to school a lot, so I didn't pay attention to nothing. So by me going to school a lot and just being active, it brought my points down. Every year, you have an annual, and that's when they go review everything you've been doing. So they look at what you've been doing. They look at if you have any write-ups, and your points go down. They go down. So like a year, I did it. My annual came up. The first year I was there, my points were down, but it didn't go down enough. So the second year I was there, it went down. So that made me eligible to go to a different, better prison. It made me eligible to go to another prison, so I had to get on the waiting list. The waiting list came. It was like another year I had to wait. I had to wait like another year. Oh. So the annual came again. They said that the annual came again. It's like the third year or the fourth year or something. I was there for 4 years waiting. My annual came that fourth year. I was like, look, I don't want to be in this prison. I said, this is not for me. I said, no, I'm not into this. I said, I want to get out. I said, I'm trying to learn and be better. I said, I don't want to be here. I've been waiting on this list for I don't know how long. I was out that prison in 2 weeks.
Really?
I went in there. Yes, I was like, I don't want to be here. I've been here doing everything right. Like, send me somewhere else. And they sent me like to the other prison in 2 weeks. And I was just so happy. I just packed my shit and left. My roommates was like, where you going? I'm gone. I didn't tell nobody I was leaving, because when they see that people like leaving and getting out that shit, they try to like fuck with you,
wow.
Like set you up, like get you into some shit to make you stay longer. No, I didn't say nothing. I walked out of my little meeting. I'm like, Yep, I just kept doing what I was doing. I was gone. I was so happy. I never looked back. Man. I never looked back either.
You're such a bright person. Not saying that I didn't expect you to be, because obviously, like I said, I follow you on social media, and I see a lot of your posts and your music. I love your music, man. That's a whole nother conversation that we're gonna get into. Obviously, what was the furthest that you went away from Oakland in prison?
The furthest was when I went to like past LA.
Okay, but you stayed in California.
I stayed in California.
That was cool, so moms could always just drive.
Yeah, it was like
fly to you.
The furthest was like a 5-hour drive in the car.
Okay,
that was the furthest that they took me. Yeah, but that was the prison that I had been trying to go to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. So the very first prison you went to was the terrible one?
Yes, level 4 Chowchilla. I mean, some people, I met a lot of. Don't get me wrong. I did like 4.5 years there altogether, just with waiting, and I met a lot of cool people there. That I still talk to this day. So it is some good people in prison. That's just the environment and the atmosphere just was not for me. Yeah. I didn't want to become tougher and harder from prison. Yeah. I wanted to actually teach me a lesson. And I just felt like being there, I wouldn't have, been able to learn what I know that it could have taught me. So I went to, I asked around a lot, like, this the only prison? Like, I used to be asking people like, like, this the only prison? I gotta do my whole 8 years here. I said, no.
So was that a possibility?
Huh?
It was a possibility that you had to do your whole bid there? If you don't get it together, like, could you have done your whole?
Yes.
Really?
Because they would because they.
So that evaluation matters if you can leave or not.
Yes, it does. Because if you're still getting into trouble, they're just gonna keep you there. Why would they send you somewhere better? You could just mess up, and they did do that. They had to. It's a lot that go into prison politics, but no. When I went into that prison, I didn't know that it was like 4 other options or 3 or 4 other options. So that's when I started asking around to certain people, like, how can I get to this other prison? And that's when they started telling me, the OGs who had been there. When they seen that I came in there and was like different how I was moving, they was like, okay, we gonna help her. So that's when people started trying to help me, and that's how I got out of there so quick. It was people trying to get out of there.
That's dope.
I got out of there. It was people who had more time than me trying to get out of there. So to me, I got out of there quick because it's like, it's not easy when you going into Chowchilla, level 4, it's just not easy getting out of there when you have a lot of time. Like, I want to say 15 years or more, it's hard to get out of Chowchilla.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, that's
you got to get your time down, get your points down, something. It's almost like you got to put in work. I don't know. But
that's hella funny.
Yeah.
Man, see, I'm such an obsessive person with just learning information. That's why I do this, because I just love learning from people. So you're going to have me going to look up this place when I leave here.
Yeah, look it up. You know what I think they did, like, because they used to have, so it's Chowchilla, and then they have a prison directly across the street from Chowchilla called BSPW. It used to be a females prison, but now it's like a SNY prison, and that's like with dropouts, pedophiles, like people who snitch go to that prison directly across the street. So I think it's called VSP for men. I'm not sure. I don't know too much about it, but I know it's like a snitch prison. But yeah, you can look it up. I think they have like a show. The show went inside the prison and taped some of the females.
Oh wow, like a documentary or something.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's what's
I think it's on YouTube. Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up for sure. So let's talk about how are you dealing with like the rough days in there. Like mentally rough, not like dealing with bullshit, but it's just like those nights where you just probably laying in bed, wanting to cry to yourself and just missing home, missing family. You know what?
It's crazy because I didn't have a lot of rough days inside of prison. And it's because I had a whole different view of prison. And I kind of blew my own self away with it because I looked at it as peace.
Really?
It's more peaceful inside of there than it is out here. To me, it is very, very chaotic out here. And it is very chaotic in the world. I didn't realize how chaotic it was until I went in there and came back out. Mm-hmm. It's structured inside of prison. Like, you wake up at a certain time. You know you have to be in at a certain time. And it's just, you have less worries because you got this one spot. It's not too much I really have to worry about because I work. So if I didn't have nobody to put money on my books, I work. So I got like paid every week or every month, however much we could shop in there. So, and then I wrote a lot, I rapped a lot. I was always busy. Mm-hmm. I was really always busy. I was never like sitting around just in my thoughts a lot. So I made myself very busy. When I first got to prison, it was really tough for me because it was like a culture shock. I had to like adapt to that environment. I had to like learn the behaviors of people. I had to like switch up my behavior because I went in there with like a cockiness to me, and people saw it.
Really?
And they used to try to target me because of it. So I had to like humble myself in there. You know, prison humbled me a lot. It will humble you.
Explain that a little bit. I don't want you to speed past that. So when you say the cockiness, is it like a tough cockiness, or is it more so just like I'm that nigga cockiness? Like explain what you mean by that.
I went in there with like an arrogance of like,
because of your popularity out here?
Because of my popularity, because like I was smart, because of how
you
I
knew
looked.
you didn't belong in there.
I knew I didn't really belong in there, and people sensed it. So I became the reason why I said I became a target, because I know like people used to like do little shit. I can't remember, but I've gotten into a couple of fights in there.
Oh,
shit.
really?
Like I've gotten into arguments with people to where I had to like earn my respect type shit in there. Yeah, they will test you. That's what I'm saying. It humbled me because nobody wants to really be around somebody like that.
Yeah.
You know, we all, and when you in there, it's like we all going through something in there. Everybody's in there, you know, fighting for their freedom. That's what they should be.
Right.
You know, everybody's doing that differently. Some people are adapting to it. Some people are not, you know, getting involved in the things they shouldn't be getting in. Some people choose a different route. Some people choose to go to school. But at the end of the day, everybody's got one goal in there, and that's to get the fuck out that motherfucker.
Right.
So, you know, I had to humble myself in there. I had to, and that's when I started meeting people. That's when I start, you know, starting to seek information and starting to try to like get my way out of there.
Did you read a lot? Oh, go ahead. I don't want to interrupt you.
I did read a lot in there. It's either you could sink or swim, and you could drown, you could swim in there. And you know, I've seen people commit suicide in
Really?
there. Yes, I've seen people just like die just of health problems in there. Just, you know, I've seen people like OD in there, like get hooked off drugs.
Bro, that's
Like
crazy.
It's like its own world in there, you know.
You might be the first female that I've spoken to about prison. Obviously, I've spoken to my partners about it, or even my dad was in prison for a long time.
I've seen people like get drugs smuggled in their cell phones through prison. You know, they smuggle chains through visiting.
Really?
Yeah, the correctional officers
I was
bring
just about
cell
to ask
phones
about
in.
How dirty are they?
I want to say in the women's prison, they're really sneaky with it. It was rare that I've seen somebody really, you know, I've seen a lot of people get walked off because of allegations, but they're really sneaky with it.
When you say walked off, you mean like a CO?
Yes.
Pretty much getting fired?
Yes, pretty much, yeah. They come in, they get you, say you want an investigation, they take them, walk them out in front of everybody, and we'll never see them again.
Damn.
So I've seen that happen, you know, because of allegations towards the CO. But they, if it's a good enough looking female in there, they usually go for like the Mexican, like, inmates in there, the COs.
Really?
They go for like the Mexican inmates, yeah. And like the,
Oh, yeah, the men COs.
yeah, the men COs, yeah. If you pretty enough and you, like, got the finesse, if you could finesse them good enough, they can bring you whatever.
They still human shit.
They'll bring you whatever. I've seen them bring, because this little shit that we don't get, like gum. Like a CO bringing gum to an inmate, that's a lot in prison.
Right.
That's a lot in prison because we can't get gum. So by inmate having gum, you looked at like, you looked at in there because you got some gum, like you some type of royalty. And I am not playing just because you got some gum. It's that little, but I've seen people get cell phones. It was a girl selling them. She got her cell phones in from CO. I don't want to be snitching.
Of course.
Yeah, drugs, all that. It comes through the CO, but people get like shit through visiting too. So, you know, I don't want to say too much and it seems like I'm telling, but
Nah,
you know.
I know what you mean,
but yes, it happens. And
how often did you? Oh, go ahead.
When I see it, I used to be like, this is kind of tight. Like, actually hearing about like all this stuff and actually being in it is two totally different things.
Now you see why I'm over here like amazed
being like
by this
really
shit.
seeing it. You know, I lived with a girl who used to get it, and I moved out the room from her because I had my own stuff going on. I had too much to lose, but she had a lot going on. She used to sell tobacco, having tobacco in there. You looked at as royalty because we do not get tobacco. And, you know, everybody smokes cigarettes. I don't, but a lot of people smoke cigarettes.
So wait, they don't even let y'all smoke cigarettes?
No, they don't sell it at all. They don't.
What
sell
about
no
the
drugs.
men's prison?
Men's prison tobacco?
Maybe no. That might because now that you say that,
No, they don't sell no tobacco products.
That
on
actually
our
makes
canteen,
sense.
commissary, nothing. But they might sell chewing tobacco in prison. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But that shit is banned, prohibited. They don't sell no drugs. So nah, they don't sell. They used to sell tobacco. They used to have it to where you can buy your own clothes and shoes and stuff from out in the streets and you could get it mailed into the prisons, but they changed it because people was smuggling
shit and
drugs through the soles of the shoes and like putting them back together in people's packages and smuggling stuff all through the clothes and shit. So they stopped that. So now they have these catalogs that we got to order out. We could only wear gray, white. That's it. It's like a speck of black, but the colors.
And then state prison is different from federal too, though.
State is different from federal. Yep. State has more rules and regulations. I think federal is more lenient, more free, and they have more stuff at your leisure. I think you can have like in the women's prison you can't have an Xbox and all that. I'm not sure about the men's, but they could do a lot more, and but I think you do 100% of your time in the feds. So I think
more time.
Yeah, we do only 85 in the state.
Got you. How often did you see people from Oakland coming through prison?
All the time. I used to see people that I grew up with from my childhood. Real? Yeah, coming in there off the hook. People pass through there, like, would just come, like, for violations, be like, what's up? Like, they chop it up with me. When I was in Santa Rita fighting my case, that's when I seen the most people come and go through there.
How long were you in Santa Rita for?
I fought my case for 2 years, from 2012 to 2014. I was in there for 2 years, yeah.
That's crazy, man. I cannot imagine that shit, bro. Man.
But this is the flip side of being at the prison I was at. So we had talent shows in there.
Oh, wow.
And we had them like every 3 months. And it was a guy named Skip Townsend. He's from LA. He's like a social like activist. He's like a social activist. I think he used to be like a blood in the gang, but so now he does like he brings the Bloods and Crips together. So he know a lot of people in LA. He knows rappers. He knows artists. So one year we had a talent show and he brought CeeLo Green as a judge to the talent show, and I was able to perform. And they chose 3 people and I won the talent show for rapping. I wonder if he remember me, but we have like talent shows in there. We have like celebrities. We had like we had a warden. She was black and she was like from South Central. She was from LA, so she knew a lot of people. She brought Gabrielle Union to one of the church shows in there. She brought like I can't remember, but she used to bring celebrities through there because the prison is not like raggedy. It don't look like I wish I had a picture of it. It don't look like a prison. It looked like a college campus.
And this isn't the first prison.
No, this ain't Chowchilla. This called CIW. It's called California Institution for Women.
And where's this one at?
In Corona, like a little bit past LA. So the warden who was working there at the time, I forgot her name, Kimberly Hughes. She had got fired for embezzlement. So she was embezzling money from the prison. Her and the black principal that was the head principal of the prison for the schools, him and her, they were embezzling money from that prison. So she got fired. They walked her out of there, but she was cool though. She let a lot of cause every 3 months they have vendors come in there like Carl's Jr., KFC, Pizza Hut, like Krispy Kreme, and we could buy stuff from the vendors. So she used to do that a lot for her. She used to have like a lot of giveaways for Christmas. When she left, it got worse. It got stricter.
Yeah. I feel like when you being however she was, you kind of get people to behave a little bit better as opposed to treating them like animals.
There was a lot of dope and a lot of drugs inside that prison, so they were looking into that too. It was outside people looking into that prison. When I first got there in 2016 or something, or 2017, it was a lot of cell phones. The cell phones. It's like one of these, like an LG cell phone in there, cost maybe like, at the time when I went in 2017, $400. Versus like in the men's prison, I think one of these cost maybe like $2,500.
Yeah.
But they was getting them so quick and so much in the women's prison. It was like, and that's when me and my roommate, that's when we got one together. And that's how I had one. But yeah, it was easy to get one. It's probably still is easy to get one. It is. It's still easy to get one in there.
That's crazy, man. That shit sounds so much like the movies and the shows that you watch, man. That's crazy. Did you ever have any issues directly with COs like fucking with you?
No. Yeah, for the most part, when I first got to CIW, the one in Corona, the COs, they didn't know me. You know, it's not a big yard. Versus Chowchilla has 4 yards. This one just has one big yard. So it was more like close, like the COs, they knew faces, you know. So I guess when I first got there, my face stood out. So they did try to fuck with me, but it's like I didn't really entertain it. I didn't react to it. So that's when they just start leaving me alone. It's not so much so that they just gave me my respect. It's not about that. They just left me the fuck alone.
And then they probably assume, like, because of where you are, they assume you probably are a knucklehead and you coming in there on some bullshit. But then when
I first came in there, I did come in on some bullshit.
And the CIW.
Yes, at CIW, I did come in on some bullshit. I had to fight.
Really?
I had a fight, and they had to like put the yard down. And the CO, he didn't see the fight physically with his own eyes, but he just felt like it was me and this other girl. So he just took us both, handcuffed us, and walked us across the yard in front of everybody to like the warden's or the sergeant's office or something. So I was on bullshit, but then I wasn't after that.
So even though you had just got out of the worst prison, you still came in. Like, what if they would have sent you back?
I just came in because they still test you. You know, people still test you and shit. So that was it. It was just like, you know, people gonna try you in prison, and that's what. Even out here, people just gonna try you. You just gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah. And I just did what I had to do, and I did start earning my respect in there. I did.
That's what's up.
Because of how I started moving, like, you know, I was mature. I was going in there. I was going there like at 22, 23, going to that prison. So a lot of those people my age at that time was going in there hella childish, and just like you could tell they loved it and just still wanted to be there and be there long and want to fuck around in there and still. I wasn't even really trying to do that. I just was looking at that shit like, I am better than this. Like, no. And then that's how my attitude was towards a lot of shit. Like, I'm better than this. Like, I knew what to get myself involved in and what not to. I used to get myself involved in like a lot of the activities that went on in there. It was a lot of opportunities in there. You know, I got enrolled into a real college, and I got my college degree in there.
So dope, man.
You know, I didn't waste no time. I learned as much as I could from people. I learned from people's. I used to ask people about their crime to learn from their mistakes and the choices they made, so I could get out and not do that shit when I got out. You know, I learned so much in there from other people.
Was it a lot of people like returners who had got out and came back?
I seen people get out and come back.
Really?
Yes, I used to
look at. So you saw people get released and then come back?
Released from prison and come back, but not even less than 3 months.
What?
That was the recidivism rate. That's the recidivism rate means that like the people getting out and the rate that they come back. Like I've seen people come like in less than 3 months back to prison, and that mean like you have to pass through county to get to prison. So
right,
you know, quick. So, yeah. But overall, my experience was.
It wasn't the worst.
It wasn't the worst. It kind of had a lot to do with my character today too. Going through all that.
So,
you know?
so saying that, and this is gonna be like probably a wild question for you, but like, do you feel like it rehabilitated you?
I do feel like it rehabilitated me in a sense because I went in there with a lack of knowledge and a lack of education on a lot of things, and I came out more educated, more knowledgeable on a lot of things. So yes, it did rehabilitate me a lot. I will give. I utilize. It's people who really come in there to try to help people with mental health, with like housing. If you like got kids and you can't send them nothing for Christmas, they got like people who donate and like. They'll buy your kid something, and they have programs to where they'll like go pick your kid up and bring them in there, and they have like giveaways and like they offer a lot of help in there. So I utilized a lot of the stuff that they offered in there. You know what I mean? They don't just offer it for nothing. They're trying to help people. So that's just how the system's set up. They send you in there, you could take what you take from it. I mean, I just couldn't see myself going in there 8 years later to coming out the same way.
Yeah.
I would have felt like that was just a waste.
Yeah,
just a waste, you know? So I really didn't waste that time at all. I used to write a lot in there, write a lot of raps. I used to do rap shows in there, performances. I used to perform at...
Like even outside of the talent show, you would just put on your own show?
No, they used to have a lot of like... they had like a suicide prevention week where for like a week straight, volunteers would come in and like host events. Like they had like some Hawaiian dancers come in there. People donated the kitchen there. Like the chef, he donated food. He barbecued. Like,
oh shit! It
really used to go down in there. People used to buy like their little clothes. They let you buy like Nikes, like Jordans. They let you buy like jeans and shit. People, they're really creative and talented in there, so they can make like ripped jeans. They used to make like contraband like jackets and clothes and shit, like little logos on it. People used to get dressed up for that kind of shit in there. It was lit. I ain't gonna lie. And so I had access to a phone in there. So, you know, there wasn't much I was missing out as far as like seeing what people was doing out here, because they doing the same shit now.
Did that? Yeah, that's a fact. Did that? So that didn't make your time harder seeing the outsides.
Yeah, it just make you want to get out faster. Yeah. But get out fast to do what? Pay hella bills?
Right.
You know? Hurry up, get out, rush to pay bills, and
in there you could chill, lay back. You don't got no bills to pay. You could depend on somebody to send you some money if they do. If they don't, you could work. You can the food. Okay, so the food in prison. The prison at Chowchilla, it was all right. It's not the worst. It's not the worst. I don't know how it is now, but when I was there, it wasn't bad. I mean, you know, it's doable. If you starving,
you gonna eat that shit.
They give you breakfast in there, and when you go get your breakfast, they give you your lunch at the same time. The lunch is not all like.
Wait, what you mean?
So at 7 o'clock, that's when they start serving breakfast in the chow hall. When you get your breakfast tray, they hand you your lunch box at one time. So you eat your breakfast and then hope to save your lunch around 12 o'clock when people eat, because they don't serve dinner until like 8. So if you don't have somebody taking care of you, if you're not working, getting some type of income, you will be hungry in there, because they only give you breakfast. They only give you breakfast and then a little box lunch with like 1 sandwich in it, a pack of cookies with like 2 little cookies and an orange. I didn't like that, because if you don't make it to breakfast, there's no way you can go hella late and be like, oh, I didn't make it.
And you
it's
gotta
shut
wait
down.
Till 8.
And so you don't have a breakfast or lunch, and now you got to wait all the way to like, they serve dinner between 6 and 8. And that, sometimes it could get delayed. So like on 4th of July, they cook and they barbecue, so it takes longer because everybody want to go to, everybody wants to go to the chow hall. On some days, some people, you know, they got family to take care of them. They don't got to go to the chow hall. They could cook in their room. They got these little boilers. We could like cook. People got, they make fryers in there. It's crazy. They take these little machines and they make fryers and they get oil and they be frying shit in there.
I got a lot of.
It gets real creative in that.
I got a lot of friends that I follow today on Instagram, and I be watching some of the shit they do. It's like, bro, that is fucking wild.
I see how they make it. I had a fryer too.
For real?
You looked at as royalty to have a fryer too in there, yeah. Because not a lot of
people in there selling plates.
Yeah, some people used to sell plates.
That's crazy.
No, I don't think I ran across nobody selling plates, but yeah.
But cooking for the partners.
Cooking for the partners, yeah, like type shit. So. Yeah, to have a fryer in there, to be able to fry like your burritos, that's a plus. It's hard to get a fryer, and then once you get it, you're not supposed to have it. It's contraband. So the police come in there and see it. They could be assholes. They could take it. Sometimes you got COs who will see it and turn a blind eye to it. Like, you know, the COs at the level 2 prison I was at, they would have much better personalities than the other ones at the level 4 prison. You know, they were more laid back. They let a lot more stuff slide. That prison I had a really good experience there at that prison. It wasn't bad. I don't know if prison is supposed to be painted as a badass thing, because it's really not. I'm not saying I'm in a rush to like go back.
Yeah, I know what you mean though.
But
so let me ask you this: saying that, did you expect worse than what it was?
I did expect worse. I seen it as some of its worst like moments. I've seen some bad encounters in there, but as far as like, you can put yourself. I mean, it all goes back to who you surround yourself with too. So you surround yourself around the drama. I've seen people go through drama their whole prison stay just because they love that shit. So. Yeah. It just all goes back to who you surround yourself with.
No, that makes sense. So speaking of the people who would come in and like, you know, try to help people and stuff, could you ever see yourself doing something like that?
Yes, I like dream about that kind of stuff. I always dream about going back into like the prisons to like maybe like put on like a class, a self-help group, some way I can help them. I always think about it. When I'm able to, I will.
So I teach a podcast class at Juvenile Hall out here now. And that shit's amazing, bro. Like just seeing the kids, I mean, just how they respond to myself and Lisa, and so I got it in Alameda County Juvenile Hall, which is 150th. And I just went to a meeting, last month? Early this month, actually.
How did you get in there?
I'll tell you about it. So earlier this month, to San Mateo Juvenile Hall, and that's going to be a longer term. I might be able to help you with that. Actually, I might be able to help you with that. I might be able to help you with that because
I don't mind talking to the youth either, though. I called up to the Juvenile Hall to inquire about how I can get in and like maybe talk to some of them who maybe I could relate to in there about like choices and like just my experience of going to prison. And how maybe I can deter some of them from making the same choices I made. I always wanted to do that.
You know what's dope? The Juvenile Hall one actually they have a recording studio in there.
They do.
They have a full
for the kids.
For real? A full blown recording studio in there.
Who?
I forget his name.
He the one who initiated putting it in there.
I love working with kids anyway. You
yeah.
know what I mean? And then especially kids in my backyard. You feel me? And I would love to be
from,
preventative.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And with those kids, how I did it was I went up there to teach them the different jobs available. Whether you want to be a lighting specialist, whether you want to do camera work, whether you want to do editing, whether you want to do audio you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you tell them, like, my YouTube pays me now. You know what I mean? My TikTok now, I just got my TikTok monetized. So when you tell them money, their ears perk up.
Right.
You know what I mean? These little
Right.
young kids. And then a lot of them, I know they dads or they older brothers or something. So that made it dope too.
Yeah.
And then the dopest part about it was you first come in and they're all hard nosed, you know. And
that's the part.
Yeah,
that's the encounters
best,
I like. Right
that's
there.
the best part because
the
it's
ones that you know.
Yeah, so
those are the ones that go through the most.
Exactly. So
those are the ones that
the
like
craziest
to
thing,
to the
man.
most.
The craziest thing was one of the kids. He's like, so we up there. We already set up. They bring them in one by one. I'm like, what's up, man? How's it going? He looked me up and down. Keep walking. I'm like, okay. So I started laughing. Right? I'm like, yes, this was exactly what I wanted. Right.
Mm-hmm.
By the end of that class, that kid walked me and my partner to our car, asking, can he come work at our studio? Like, that's how much of an impact we had. And then one of the
those kids are they sitting down doing synthesis, or they're just there because they're being bad? Like, what is?
Shit. I don't know the exact details of they situations, but I mean, we was in there for 6 weeks and they was in there too. You know what I mean? And they in there, like one of the kids, he said he had been in there for 2 years. So yeah, they gotta be.
2 years.
Yeah, they gotta be doing.
That's a long time. I think they get home visits.
Yeah, they do. They get home visits. So some of them they have jobs. So some of them work at that's why they wanted to come work here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
they let them do internships and stuff. Okay.
Depending on your situation. I don't know the details of it because I didn't ask too many questions.
Come work here?
In a heartbeat.
With you?
You know, it's just a process of getting that approved.
Right.
But yeah, we're actually working on getting the whole group to come down and just sit in the background while I conduct an interview and everything.
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
so they can see how it goes, like hands on.
And it's what I was trying to do. What they wouldn't approve because they're minors is I was trying to shoot their own podcast in there. So bring my equipment, bring my cameras, have one kid working one camera, one kid working the what do you call it? The fucking board. You know what I mean? And have them operate.
They won't let you shoot nothing at all?
Nope, no recording at all because they're kids and they're in the detention center. So not even audio. I was like, can I just bring the mics? And I tried all of that. Even when I pitched it to the lady, she liked the idea, the whatever you call it, their warden or whatever you call it, but they couldn't get it approved. And I get it, you know what I mean? But it's just
the warden,
the main person. I don't know if that's what they call them at juvenile hall, but
I don't know if that's what they call them either.
But yeah, I met that person though. Yeah, I mean I had to because they had to approve.
It's a lady.
Yep, it was a lady.
Black.
And then I don't remember the name. No, not black though. And then at one point it was funny. We pulled up and they said we smelled like weed, and they wouldn't let us go in because of the contraband shit.
Yeah,
they caught somebody on camera bringing edibles to the kids.
Oh, see.
Mm-hmm.
And then so that's where the trust comes in. They don't want people getting too close with the kids to where you will be like let the feel sorry for them and want to help them out.
Exactly.
Because that's where it come from. It's like feeling sorry, like because you were once them, so you will want the same, and you want to be cool. So that's where yeah.
But yeah, I'll definitely. Let's make sure we stay in contact about that because even I'll ask my uncle about the Alameda County Juvenile Hall, see if there's some type of program we could put together, and I'll help you write it up and everything. And
a proposal.
Yep. And it's not hard. It ain't hard at all.
I know how to do them.
Yeah, that's what's up. What would you say to a young person in Oakland who was in the streets a little bit and just what would you say to them to try to get them to change their direction of life before they hit the penitentiary?
I just feel like. Just always, when you going into anything, just always know what the potential risk can be, So going into the streets, educate yourself on what the risk would be. Some of the risks of being in the streets is jail, prison, getting shot. If you want to do the whole robbing, any time, just know the risk. Just know what you're getting yourself into and what the potential outcome could be. From you doing whatever, whether you want to work, just know the outcome going to be you having some money in your pocket, whether you want to, be in the streets or even rap. Just know the potential going to be, or the outcome going to be whether you're going to make it because you're good, because you're doing what you're supposed to, or you just not, Just know, just know. Like it's a reaction, how it go? To every action, there's a reaction.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cause and effect. So, when you came home, were you on any paperwork and everything? You had to deal with that?
Yeah, I was on parole for like less than a year. I got released early from parole for good behavior.
That's what's
I don't like restraints and restrictions, and like being in jail for so long. It just makes you want to do right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how people could really go back and forth. Some people really love this, like living that kind of life. Like I've been there, done that, and it's just a waste of time. We're only getting older. We're not getting younger. So, like anything, like time is money now. That's how I look at it. Time is money now. And you could just be either keep getting greater, or you could just be like getting worse. Yep. But for me, I just try to push myself and challenge myself every day. It's hard sometimes because, you know, we dealing with the struggles of life. You know, you're just dealing with all kind of different shit. You still got to be able to hold it together and still be okay to just keep going and knowing that, you know, everything's going to be okay and everything's going to get better. But that's what I just try to think positive, because it's easy to think negative. It's very easy for them little negative thoughts to sneak into your little brain and just, you know, distract you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's just about staying focused and really honing in on what you want for yourself. It's about to be a new year too, so it's like, what do you really want? You have to really. It's one thing to say something, but it's one thing to really start actually doing
Following through.
You know, you have to put action behind it. And that's one thing I'm teaching myself too, to put more action behind the things that I really want. The things that makes me, that's going to benefit me, the things that make me happy.
Mm-hmm. So to jump into the music a little bit, because to be honest, I don't remember you doing music back then. I could just be, you know, whatever, but it was like damn near the first post I seen from. I think that's how I followed you. Somebody posted you rapping. I'm like, God damn, she is going crazy. So just talk about that. Was it a conscious effort to come home? Like, man, I'm coming home doing this music shit full fledged.
That was my goal. My goal was to come home and do music, not to be full fledged in it, because I know it's a lot that comes with it. My goal was to come home and do music until I realized that it was a lot of stuff that I didn't know about it. So I tried to come home and do music, but I'm like, no, this is not how I want my music to sound. This is not how I want to upload it. This is not what I want to do. I need to go talk to somebody or figure out what it is that I'm missing or I need to educate myself on so that I can put my content out there like it's supposed to be put out there. It was a whole lot of shit that I had to learn. It took me like a year to really learn a lot of this music stuff about like how it's supposed to sound and the quality and like the content, like, you know, getting your songs, paying for the beats so that you own the beat, actually, getting your song mixed and mastered, you know, paying for that, putting the hours into like your song or album, whatever it is. Like, I don't just put a song out there unless I listen to it over and over. First of all, before I post a song, I listen to it over and over, and I listen for any little thing that sound off. I let somebody else listen to it, tell me the truth. How this shit sound? Is it all right? Like, you know. And I take constructive criticism when it comes to my music, because that's the only way you could get better. It's a lot of people who I know you can't tell them nothing about nothing, and that's why you're not going to get better. You know, when I put something out there, I want the next project or whatever I put out there to be better than the last one. I challenge myself with that every time, but I didn't start taking it really, really serious, and I'm trying to take it even more serious. To me, I'm just not serious enough, because I have a lot of work to do, and I have a lot of work that I need to put in. You know, when it comes to this music stuff, yeah, people like me. They say I'm raw, I have talent, but you know, I don't expect no handouts. I wanna put my work in so that I learn. I like to learn. I don't feel like I've mastered it yet as far as like this music thing. You know, I still feel like there's a lot to learn, and I know that it is, and I'm still seeking information about it. But yes, I can rap. I'm talented. I've been putting it out there, but it's always room for improvement. It's always room for improvement.
Sure. Do you still record yourself at all, or are you going to like actual studios and stuff?
No, I go into actual studios. I'm trying to go now. I've been going a lot more lately.
That's what's up.
Just because I feel like I'm more in my element when I'm in the studio. I love to be in the studio. I like to create music. I like to be in there, like listening to beats and like putting the song together. I like it. And then once I finally put the song together, and when I listen to it, it makes me feel good. Like, dang, I was able to do this. A lot of people is not really able to do it.
I think the reason why I like your music so much, and really your verses that I've heard from you since you've been home. How long have you been home?
I've been home for 2 years exactly. 2 years. Actually, yep.
That's what's up. Salute to that. When it comes to the verses I've heard from you, I know you did a song with my cousin LJ with the Dreads, Proof of Life.
Yes.
Yeah. You killed that verse, but you have such an expressive way of doing music, and that's the type of music I like, because I'm a real big mental health advocate. I go to therapy. I'm just all about just, you know, being in control of your emotions, like you mentioned earlier, being, let's not say in control, aware. You know what I mean? Yes,
being aware, like emotionally aware.
Right. Is music something that you use as an expressive tool to like kind of get your thoughts out?
Yes. I try to as often as possible. Sometimes I get distracted, and I'm really like a conscious. I want to say I'm more like a conscious street rapper. That's what I live myself as. I be forgetting how talented I really am because I just get distracted by other thoughts. But when I dive in deep to what like my thoughts really is, and I really start like bellowing like my thoughts and what I'm feeling out, that's when I'm able to make my best music. And I feel like I'm giving people some game, and I don't know if I want to put this part in there. But yeah, that's when I'm able to make my best music, is when I can actually, I have to be in like a comfortable environment first. And that's usually just me by myself. I have like a stereo and I play that beat really loud, and I just like try to put myself inside the song almost. And just like feel the song with like no barriers around it. And that's how I write my best lyrics, and that's how I like come up with the best like melodies and emotion for the song. If it's not no emotion, I was just telling her the other day that if you record in the studio and you just like this, I come down your block and I shoot you with a chop, it's not gonna sound right. Versus if you like, and if you put you gotta put emotion behind anything you're doing, they gonna hear the passion in it. They gonna hear that shit. They gonna hear the dryness in it too. So it's like you gotta. That's where the passion, and that's why people could resonate and relate to Tupac, because he had passion behind his music. And when I watch his videos, I watch him and how he records. He's actually really in there,
like a performance.
Exactly. So I've actually adapted. I tried to pick up some of those. Like I look at the greats and how they do stuff,
Smart.
So and that's how I educate myself on a lot of stuff. I look at other people. I want to give props to Project Papa though.
That's my dog, man.
That's one solid. That's my cousin, but that's like one real solid dude. I want to say that if he had a record label, I would sign to his record label, just not because of who he is, of me knowing him since I've been like a kid. We've been from the same area, just because of his character. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's a real humble. He wants to help people, but his character is outstanding. It's something like I've never really seen. And I know that he goes through a lot and been through a lot and then been through hella shit. So for him to have the character he has is just like, I would want to be under somebody who's like that. But he has put me on in a lot of different ways. He recorded my first video. He put it on his platform, because he does have a platform. So Project Papa, he put my video on his platform, recorded it for me, promoted it even in anything I do. He supported. It
might have been him who I saw post your first, not your first music video, but you rapping when you first came home. I want to say you was like in the,
he supports it all. And he supports anybody who he believe in, who he knows he sees like something that he supports that. And like I said, he has his own platform. He's constantly building it. And I want to give a shout out to my brother too, that's one of the people who really believed in me, LJ. That's one of the people who really believed in me as far as this music shit too. He
LJ
funded,
with the dreads?
Yes.
Okay, that's my cousin here.
Yeah. LJ, he funded like the first 2 of my videos for me,
wow.
So
he's such a giving dude too.
Yes,
man.
he helped fund them for me. So I really appreciate that. Like I really do.
That's what's up.
That he gave, like, I want to say, like, it gave me an extra push. Because it's like, financially, sometimes this music thing can be really expensive.
Tell me.
So at the time, I was like, I want to put
anything creatively can be expensive.
Anything creative can be expensive if you want to, push out that content, the quality content, the good content that, we're supposed to have. But those 2 guys, Project Papa and Elgin, they're forever.
How much music did you come home and record that you wrote inside?
I have a lot of songs that I have not recorded. I have a lot of songs that
plan to record them?
I plan to record them. Yes, I plan to record one today when I leave here. Maybe 2. I have a lot of music that I wrote in there, and that I plan to put it out there.
Do you have any projects coming out? Like, are you gonna put out a full project, or you just gonna
I'm gonna put out an EP. I'm gonna go ahead and put out an EP. I'm gonna drop maybe like 2 more singles that I really want to get out there. That shows like my versatility and like what I can do as far as music. And then I'm gonna create an EP and like push an album and put it all together so that I think. When you're a music artist or a rapper upcoming, I think an album shows, like, first of all, it introduces the crowd to like your sound, and they know who they're working with. They know, if you could, that'll show them if you got it or not, And then once you do that, gain your little, exposure from it. You just got to keep going. So my whole focus right now is just finding the strength to keep going and staying consistent.
Well, I'm gonna tell you now. I'm gonna be on you. I'm gonna be DMing you. I'm gonna be commenting on everything you post.
Cause that's the hardest thing for me. I drop something, it won't drop nothing for hella long. Yeah. So to me, it's like a matter of. You could probably answer this for me. I don't know how much I should put out right now. That's what I'm trying to see. I don't have a manager really, so I'm trying to figure out. I don't want to overdo it, and I don't want to
underdo it either.
So what I learned is I just try to like tap into my social media and my followers, like, and try to like I don't know, figure out when they bored with me. To see bored with me, like
I haven't seen that because to be honest, I see so many people repost your shit.
Yeah, but my social media gets dry too, and I could tell by like my activity.
Yeah, but see, that's tricky. You got to be careful with that.
Tricky. The algorithm.
Yes. Because I'm going to tell you, I just had a clip hit 1 million views on TikTok, right?
You did?
Yeah, recently. And I swear to God, it was a point to where it was getting 100,000 views a day, right? I was gaining 1,000 followers a day on TikTok. I have a social media manager now, so she runs all of that shit.
Oh, okay.
So, but we're watching that. We're watching the analytics go through. And I swear you could see the day where all the views just halted.
See, that's what I'm saying. What I mean? Yeah.
But then in the first 2 hours of the clip being dropped, I text the guest of the interview. I said, "Bro, this is about to take off." It did like 80,000 views in 2 hours, so I knew the algorithm picked it up, and it was literally every second. It was a.
So you was a
fuck. Yeah, but you
guys had to catch your
that's all it is. So it's don't get caught up in that because a lot of that shit, even them YouTube views, be fake, bro. It's a lot of. All I say is because you're doing the music like it's expressive for you. Do you?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's never gonna be too much.
Right.
And you honestly you want that core. You want a core fan base. You don't want your core, like somebody like me. I'm never gonna get tired of that shit because you're telling your story. You telling what you're feeling in that moment. Even like I said, even if I'm not there with you, I feel like damn, I could hear the pain. I could feel that shit.
Okay,
I never even been to prison. You know what I mean? But it's like I never like even seeing in your social media posts like when you lost your mom. Like, I felt that. I never met your mom. I had never even met you at the time.
Right.
But I felt I was hurt with you. Like, damn, I couldn't imagine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's the people you want to do it for. You know what I mean? Because those are the people that are organic and that really fuck with you.
Right.
Same for me. Like, I was dealing with the same shit with my show. It's like, damn, some of my closest people don't even watch my shit. They don't repost it. But then I realized, like, I'm advertising and promoting my show to people that don't know me. I don't want people that's gonna watch it just because it's Justin doing it. You feel me? I want the motherfuckers who genuinely catch their attention. Like, oh shit, what's that? You know what I mean? And that's how you keep that. You retain that shit. You see? And that's just my 2 cents. Obviously, I'm not in the music industry with it, but I'm actually about to become a manager of a rapper. I'll tell you when we get off here. But I'm actually like getting into that lane right now because I'm a business guy. You know what I mean? Like this is my second studio in 2 years. My other one was a little bit further down the street. I live right up the hill. I taught myself how to do all of this shit.
Yeah.
I no investors. I bought all this shit. I was working at Wells Fargo making $18, bro. I bought that camera first, then I bought that one, then I bought this.
You got them expensive Sony ones too.
Exactly. You see what I'm saying? But these lights, I taught myself all, and I learned from making mistakes. You feel me? And luckily now we have this. This is
the one right here.
I used to have to edit my shit. I used to have to record my podcast through actual Logic. Through an actual audio interface and everything. But because of this, now this is actually made for podcasting.
This go.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And this was like $600 or whatever, but
it looks professional.
It's all about like that. This is blinking because it's a round of applause. So when you say something dope, I just slide this up and you can hear the clapping.
Oh, for
You
real?
can't hear it, but I can hear it in my headphones.
Oh, okay.
So like when you said you was home 2 years, I did the round of applause. You'll see it in the interview.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's like little shit like that, bro. It's like it's gonna be expensive. It's gonna be, and I edit all my shit. A one-man team. You see, I'm doing everything myself.
I know it's impressive actually. When I came in and seen the setup, I was like, okay.
And
yeah.
now what it turned into is now I shoot other people's podcasts. I offer consulting. I told you I'm doing a class in in Juvenile Hall. You see what I'm saying?
So people could come here and shoot a podcast.
Yeah, and I don't even promote that yet. I haven't even promoted. These are
That
just people
shoot
that
podcasts on a weekly. That they just so when people come and do that, they book you for a certain amount of hours, and they just come.
Yep.
You so you just there to like.
It's just like
record the content for them.
It's just like how you book a studio.
Oh,
Just like you
okay.
book a recording studio, it's the same thing.
Oh,
so what
okay,
I do is,
that's tight.
and again, I'm a business guy though. Like I study business, you know what I mean? I have a business mentor who we'll talk more about it. But so before we get out of here, man, is there anything else that you want to, shine us out with before we clock out? Any words of wisdom? Anything we should be looking forward to? Whatever, the floor is yours at this point.
No, I think
Nothing. That was dope though. I appreciate the conversation. You got to come back. How about that?
No, I'll come back for
when
sure.
you're ready to do it, when you're ready to do the project or you want to promote anything, man, this is open door for you. Just hit me. I need to come talk about some shit. Like Ali Cocaine, that's what she did the last time we got on here. She was promoting something. She hit me like, man, I'm trying to come.
Oh, okay. That's what's up.
Anybody,
I could do that.
Anybody who once you come on, that's why even when we was trying to set it up and you was like, man, my bad. It's like, bro, Project Papa. We was been supposed to do his interview. We ain't did it yet. I don't like to rush it though, because think about how much shit didn't happen since.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's
yeah.
like once you tell me it's good, it's good. I'm not gonna be mad. I'm not gonna pray. Again, I live up the hill. Even if you'd have canceled today, it ain't a big deal for me because I'm a 7-minute walk from here. You feel me? So it's like it ain't a big deal. So again, I appreciate you, man. Please keep going. I swear to God,
I appreciate you having me.
I'm gonna be in your comments. I'm gonna be in your DMs.
I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep getting better. I'm gonna push myself.
You got to, man. That was dope, man, for sure. Signing out.
Yeah.